What is going on, everyone? Sinful Pocket Monster here, bringing you our second video of Pokemon error facts. And to get things started, I wanted to do some uncorrected errors. And to start it off, I wanted to start a little funny one with Voltorb. In the first editions, as well as the Shadowless versions, the bio at the bottom of the Voltorb card would read, "Easily mistaken for Monster Ball," using the Japanese name for Pokeball rather than the English. This error was actually not fixed until the limited version, and I actually bought one. And here it is, and it actually has a 3D stamp error to it. Coming up next on the list, I'm sure everyone in the world at this point has heard of the Vulpix HP 50 error, but if you thought Vulpix was the only one, that is actually not true. Caterpie and Metapod, both from the first edition and Shadowless sets, both have HP errors. Caterpie saying HP 40 instead of 40 HP, and Metapod saying HP 70 instead of 70 HP. But let's not stop at HP. Bulbasaur, first edition and Shadowless had an incorrect bio saying the length was 15 pounds rather than the weight. Kakuna also had this issue in first edition and Shadowless, where his would read length 22 pounds rather than weight. Imposter Professor Oak actually read Impostor rather than Imposter in the first edition and Shadowless sets. Let's switch it on up and go ahead with some corrected errors. Backstamps. First edition commons and uncommons can be found with a first edition stamp inverted on the back of the card. The black ink evidently didn't fully dry before the sheets were stacked, leading to wet ink transfer. Some cards received additional black ink and some had their ink removed to be white stamps. Next up, let's go ahead and talk about white stamps. Very similar to backstamps, these first edition commons and uncommons can be found with the first edition stamps partially white on the front and on the back due to missing ink from wet ink transfer. These are most commonly found on the back compared to very rarely being found with white on the front. Lastly, I wanted to talk about front first edition stamp smears. Some first edition base set cards, mainly commons and uncommons, have been observed with smeared or misaligned first edition stamps on the front. These errors were a result of the black ink not fully drying before additional handling or stacking during the printing process. The result can include blurred outlines, ink trailing, or partial logo transfers. These front stamps differ from the more commonly referenced backstamp transfers and represent a distinct category of print errors tied specifically to the application of the first edition stamp itself, basically making this its own category of corrected error. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this error, and if you have any that you want to learn about, please feel free to let me know and I'll gladly do my research.